Archangel Michael says, the moment they turned their backs and shut the door, they thought you were finished. They thought silence would suffocate your spirit and that isolation would crush your core. But they never understood what heaven had already planted deep inside you. They counted you out, whispered that your chapter was closed, and danced on your downfall. But underground, in the depths of your pain, something ancient was beginning to stir. The earth wasn't a grave, it was a womb preparing you for rebirth. In the quiet hours, while no one applauded, you kept breathing through the pressure. The darkness wasn't there to kill you, it was sent to strengthen what would one day rise. What they didn't see is that buried things don't always die, some are planted for a reason. They left you buried beneath betrayal, abandonment, rejection, and lies. But what they thought was your end was the divine beginning of your explosion. The roots didn't break, they deepened. Type Amen to get blessing 333. You cried in silence, not because you were weak but because something mighty was unfolding inside you. Every tear watered something eternal beneath the surface. No one saw your pain, but all of heaven heard your groans. There was a silent shaking beneath the surface, a tremor in the unseen. You felt alone, but you were surrounded by divine forces preparing your rise. They tried to bury your name, but roots remember their own direction. You felt forgotten, misplaced, and buried in chaos. But a seed doesn't panic in the dark, it trusts the process. Even while hidden, it prepares to burst through the soil of circumstance. Type Amen to get blessing 448. You were covered in ridicule, betrayal, and shame. Yet, heaven didn't panic, it smiled. Because what they didn't know is that your purpose needed pressure. Archangel Michael says, the dirt they threw was not to kill but to shield you for a time. They thought silence would break you, but it healed you. You were not buried to die, you were buried to bloom. Every moment of abandonment was secretly divine timing. They walked away, not knowing their exit was your entrance into something bigger. You weren't buried in defeat, you were planted for dominion. When they talked behind closed doors, plotting your downfall, angels were standing beside you. The whispers and shadows were seen by the light. And the silence? That was God speaking the loudest. Type Amen to get blessing 576. The loneliness you felt wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You weren't meant to grow in public because your roots were divine and too powerful for shallow ground. You were meant. Erupt later and stronger. They will look for you where they left you, but you won't be there. You'll be elevated beyond their understanding. And they'll wonder how you survived what should have destroyed you. Because you weren't just surviving, you were multiplying. While they were laughing, you were maturing. And soon, the harvest will answer them. They will say your name with awe, not mockery. The story they tried to bury is the story God is now preparing to publish. You were never broken, you were being rewritten. Type Amen to get blessing 627. They set you up to fall but didn't know gravity bows to grace. You're rising, not because they changed their mind, but because God never did. You're not the same person they buried. Your voice has power now. Your steps have thunder now. Your silence has legacy now. Archangel Michael says, the seed in you was chosen. It cannot die, it cannot quit, and it cannot be destroyed. It was hidden to protect its greatness. You don't owe anyone explanations for your transformation. Let them question, your fruit will answer. Let them deny, your bloom will confront their doubt. Type Amen to get blessing 702. They tried to bury your light, but light does not fear darkness, it creates direction within it. Even in the silence, you spoke. Even in the hiding, you were heard. Even when no one clapped, heaven applauded. Even when they forgot you, divine memory kept your name alive. Even when they plotted against you, the plot failed. You are proof that endings are illusions. You are walking evidence that the soil is sacred. What was meant to trap you became the foundation beneath your wings. And now, the bloom is here. They can't unsee what God is about to unveil. You are rising where they expected your ruin. Type Amen to get blessing 819. They thought the dirt would shut you up, but now your name is being whispered in rooms they never imagined. You were hidden, not to be lost, but to gain weight in silence. That silence birthed strength they can't understand. You were underestimated and overlooked. But seeds do their best growing when no one is watching. And you? You've grown into something heaven can't hide anymore. Your breath carries weight now. Your smile carries storms you survived. Your eyes reflect roots too deep for surface storms to move. You were never fragile. You were planted by divine force. They didn't bury you, they accidentally helped you. Type Amen to get blessing 937. Archangel Michael says, every betrayal added nutrients to your soil. Every rejection became fuel for your growth. Every fake friend became fertilizer for your future. They said you'd never rise, but here you are, unfolding like prophecy. What they tried to stop is now walking past them with grace and fire. You were destined to bloom past the lies. This was not their story to end. It was God's story to begin. And now, the next chapter carries the scent of victory. You carry the strength of silence, the roar of storms survived, and the scent of heaven's fire. Your petals are made from pressure. Your fragrance is made from resilience. Type Amen to get blessing 1012. They left you for dust. But you rose from dust. And now you shine with holy glow. Don't look back at the ones who buried you. The ones who left will soon need the light you carry. You owe them nothing, not even bitterness. Because what you carry now is too royal for revenge. Let them remember how they left you. But you, remember how you rose. The roots that held you together are now pushing through every obstacle. The bloom cannot be stopped. And the sun is now shining directly on you. Type Amen to get blessing 1181. You carry legacy. You carry divine authority. You carry fireproof grace. Those who laughed will now see. Those who doubted will now stare. Those who left will now watch you bloom beyond the horizon. You were always meant for this. Even in hiding, heaven was shouting your name. Even in silence, destiny was moving. Even in dirt, you were glowing. And now, your time has come. You are not small, you were just growing in a deeper dimension. Type Amen to get blessing 1233. Now they wonder how you outlasted the storm. But they forgot, you were rooted, not resting. You were preparing, not perishing. No apology needed for outgrowing their expectations. No regret needed for who you've become. You owe no one the old version of yourself. The new you doesn't seek validation. The new you blooms without permission. The new you walks through fire and dances in ashes. Because seeds that rise don't fear the storm, they command it. And that's what you're doing now, commanding the season that tried to bury you. Type Amen to get blessing 1330. They underestimated the storm inside your stillness. Now, your silence speaks louder than their noise. You are an answered prophecy. Your very breath carries weight now. Your steps break the curses that tried to follow you. You weren't just protected, you were anointed. You were hidden because heaven knew your shine would blind unprepared eyes. And now that you rise with thunder in your voice. With roots in the holy, you cannot fall. Archangel Michael says, this blooming season is not random. It's a divine eruption. The seed in you refused to die. Type Amen to get blessing 1455. So let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them whisper. You are not the version they abandoned. You are the version that rose from it. You are the one who was planted, not punished. And now the soil testifies. The roots celebrate. And the leaves wave in your honor. Heaven never forgot what earth tried to erase. You are not buried. You are blooming, and your bloom is holy. Type Amen to get blessing 1522. You now walk with fire in your soul. You now live with heaven in your veins. You now rise as the harvest of every buried prayer. Let your steps echo like trumpets. Let your silence roar with power. You were not the end, they were the beginning of your bloom. Every petal that opens proves you've won. Every bloom that blossoms says, you were wrong to count me out. And your scent, your glow, it's heaven's reply. Keep blooming. Keep rising. Keep being the evidence that no seed stays buried forever. Type Amen to get blessing 1680. Even the winds are shifting now to carry your name. They thought it would disappear beneath the dirt, but it was sealed by the divine. What was hidden is now about to be announced. Your life is no longer underground. What was once invisible is now undeniable. The seasons have changed, and you are stepping into the light. You didn't just grow, you became unrecognizable to the ones who tried to break you. Your voice carries the echoes of 1,000 silent nights. Your strength was not borrowed, it was born in silence. Your petals weren't just shaped by sunlight but by shadows too. You are not delicate, you are divine. You don't just survive, you shift atmospheres when you enter. Type Amen to get blessing 1777. They were looking for a grave, but heaven was preparing a garden. What they buried with doubt is now rising with destiny. You were never forgotten, just growing where they couldn't see. Let their disbelief feed your bloom. Let their confusion be the soil where your legacy grows. You no longer need to explain, you were not buried to apologize. You were buried to awaken. And now that you're awake, nothing can silence your bloom. Your presence is a declaration. You don't bloom in fear. You bloom in fire. And that fire has heaven's fingerprint. Type Amen to get blessing 1833. Archangel Michael says, this season belongs to the risen. You are not rising by mistake, you were always meant to be unburied by divine timing. And now, your bloom cannot be reversed. They saw the dirt and called it death. But dirt never scared the seed, it reminded the seed of where greatness begins. You didn't break, you became uncontainable. The earth held you, but couldn't keep you. The pain tried to quiet you, but it taught you how to roar. And now, the roar of your growth is shaking the places that forgot your name. Let them hear it. Let them feel it. Let them stand in awe of what they thought they buried. Type Amen to get blessing 1909. There is no going back underground. The sun knows your face now. The winds know your scent. You will not fit into the pots they tried to confine you in. Your roots stretch further. Your presence grows louder. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. You are blooming because you already were. And no one can revoke what was sealed by heaven's own hand. Your bloom is prophecy fulfilled. You were not just buried. You were resurrected through every tear, every betrayal, every moment of silence. Type Amen to get blessing 2001. Your bloom is a reply to their doubts. Your growth is an answer to their mockery. What was meant to end you is now building a platform beneath your feet. You are rising. Not slowly, not timidly, but with fire and thunder. They won't recognize the new you, because the old you was left in the dirt. Let them look confused. Let them blink in disbelief. The transformation is too divine for shallow minds to grasp. What you carry now is heavier than pain. It's heavier than grief. It's purpose, and it blooms whether they're watching or not. Type Amen to get blessing 2133. You never needed their validation. You needed the darkness to become the warrior you are now. That soil shaped your future. Now, as your bloom unfolds, even nature stands in silence. The wind pauses. The clouds part. Every layer of your bloom carries a testimony. Every fragrance you carry whispers, I didn't quit. Every color says, I am more than what they thought. Archangel Michael says, this bloom is just the beginning. You are not just rising, you are commanding harvests. You are not just growing, you are spreading. Type Amen to get blessing 2229. Your leaves stretch beyond borders. Your colors blind the eyes of the doubtful. Your roots cannot be pulled, because they were forged by heaven's storms. They thought it was over. But heaven said, it has just begun. You weren't made for shallow soil, you were made to shake foundations. Now you carry light where there once was darkness. Now your name brings strength. Now your story is being written in hearts, not just books. Let them see. Let them hear. Let them feel what happens when a seed chooses to bloom. Type Amen to get blessing 2380. You don't just bloom, you awaken gardens. You don't just survive, you shake atmospheres. You are the evidence of divine timing. What they ignored now becomes unavoidable. What they called weak now carries weight. What they thought small now becomes sacred. Let your steps echo in the places they tried to erase you from. Let your voice carry through the halls of silence they left you in. Let your petals fall where only fire once was. You were born to bloom in unlikely places. You were designed to defy the dirt. You are the one they'll never forget. Type Amen to get blessing 2444. No more hiding. No more shrinking. No more waiting for their permission to grow. You are here. You are bold. You are radiant. The bloom cannot be undone. The soil cannot reclaim you. The story cannot be rewritten without your name. Archangel Michael says, let the petals fall where they may. You are no longer a seed. You are the whole garden. Type Amen to get blessing 2510. Let the wind carry your scent to the corners of the earth. Let the earth remember who it tried to bury. Let the skies announce your arrival. You are the one who bloomed through betrayal. You are the one who survived storms no one saw. You are the one who will never be buried again. Let your petals shine without apology. Let your fragrance speak when your voice is still. Let your silence carry thunder. This bloom is not for show, it is for warfare. It is the final word to every voice that tried to end you. It is the answer heaven had planned all along. Type Amen to get blessing 2677. And now, every flower that opens is your reply. Every breeze that touches your skin is a reminder. Every sunbeam on your face is divine applause. They left you, but they couldn't stop you. They buried you, but they couldn't erase you. They doubted you, but heaven never did. You are not finished blooming. You are just getting started. You are the prophecy the dirt never saw coming. Walk proud. Stand tall. You are no longer underground. Type Amen to get blessing 2755. You are seen. You are celebrated. You are unstoppable. Your bloom has just begun, and it will stretch beyond generations. It will whisper healing into broken places. It will rise even when no one believes. You are the living answer to, how did they survive that? You are the reply to betrayal. You are the bloom they swore would never come. Archangel Michael says, rise as the field, not just a flower. Rise as the garden, not just a plant. You are not alone, you are the beginning of something greater. Type Amen to get blessing 2833. Let your roots continue to stretch. Let your leaves dance in the wind. Let your petals drip with glory. The storm made you shine. The dirt made you stronger. The silence gave you shape. And now, the bloom makes you unshakable. You are no longer hiding. You are leading. You were a seed, yes. But now you are the garden that heaven walks in. Type Amen to get blessing 2999. You were always destined for more than the small space they gave you. Even when they tried to limit your light, your roots kept breaking the barriers beneath. You are not the aftermath of failure, you are the uprising of faith. Their silence made space for your roar. Their absence created room for your strength to stretch wide. Now you take up the space you were always meant to own. You no longer wait for recognition. You no longer beg for a seat. You are the garden that builds its own ground and grows without boundaries. Your soil speaks truth now. It testifies of a survivor who bloomed beyond betrayal. You are not just alive, you are overflowing with purpose. Type Amen to get blessing 3111. Every part of you that once felt broken is now blooming into beauty. Every rejection made your colors deeper. Every trial painted your petals in power. Your bloom carries memory. And your memory carries resilience. Even your quietness carries a thunder that shakes unseen realms. They'll speak your name differently now. Not with pity, but with pause. Not with dismissal, but with realization. Because the one they buried is no longer there. The one that bloomed took their place. And the bloom speaks louder than the burial ever did. Type Amen to get blessing 3205. Now your bloom is reaching eyes you never imagined. Nations will feel the wind of your awakening. And people who never knew your story will feel your strength through your silence. Your shadow now brings calm. Your presence carries weight. Your fragrance moves hearts to remember who they left behind. But you? You forgive and bloom anyway. You love and rise anyway. You smile and spread anyway. You are unstoppable not because you never broke, but because you kept rising from it. And that makes you a garden no fire can burn. Type Amen to get blessing 3322. Archangel Michael says, the time of blooming is not a moment, it's a movement. You are walking proof that dirt is not defeat. You are walking glory wrapped in petals. What tried to kill your spirit has become your fertilizer. What tried to end your name has become your foundation. What tried to silence you has become the platform beneath your bloom. Now you dance in fields once meant to trap you. You shine in light that once seemed too far. You stand tall in truth that can't be hidden anymore. Let your colors blind the ones who left you behind. Let your petals reach those who buried you in whispers. Let your bloom speak in places your voice once trembled. Type Amen to get blessing 3444. You are no longer reaching up, you've already emerged. And now you are not just growing, you are glowing. Glowing in victory, glowing in truth, glowing in divine timing. This bloom is not ordinary. It carries weight. It carries the pain you endured, the prayers you cried, the nights you thought you'd never rise again. But here you are. Blossoming where the enemy expected ashes. Blooming where no one believed flowers could grow. And now, your life isn't just your own. It is a field for others who feel buried. Your bloom is showing them, it's not the end. Type Amen to get blessing 3588. You didn't bloom overnight. You didn't bloom easily. But you bloomed fully. And that is your victory. That is your proof. That is your legacy. Let them see you now, standing tall, petals wide, fragrance strong. Let them feel what it means when a buried seed becomes a risen garden. You are walking on ground that once swallowed your dreams. Now you plant dreams for others with your every step. The one they left behind has become the one they now admire. The silence is gone. The storm has passed. The seed has bloomed. Type Amen to get blessing 3677. Your petals are not soft, they are sacred. They carry your prayers, your battles, your rebirth. And they carry light, even for those who never said your name right. The ones who buried you will now need the fruit of your harvest. The ones who mocked will now marvel. The ones who left will now wish they had stayed. But you? You are too busy blooming to look back. You are too full of purpose to live in the past. You are too rooted to fall now. You are not the dirt they threw. You are the seed that transformed. You are the divine bloom that refuses to fade. Type Amen to get blessing 3744. Now, take this bloom with pride. Stand under the sun and let it kiss the growth that no one saw coming. Smile in the breeze and let it carry your strength into the next storm. You are not what happened to you. You are what grew because of it. And that makes you unshakable. So bloom, chosen one. Keep blooming even when no one claps. Keep rising even when they look away. Because you weren't meant for applause, you were meant to awaken the earth. And your bloom is just getting started. Type Amen to get blessing 3880. This is not just your story, it's a prophecy fulfilled. The ones who left will hear about you. The ones who buried you will hear from you. The ground that held you is now breaking open with praise. The silence that covered you is now echoing your name. The wind is no longer passing over, it's dancing with you. Archangel Michael says, what they thought was over is the beginning of your garden years. Let the petals fall where they must. You are not returning to that soil, you are building from it. And heaven smiles, because the seed has finally bloomed. Type Amen to get blessing 4000 cherry blossom.